this is doing nothing for me, like at all. And again, going back to, why am I forcing it anyways? You know what I'm saying? I don't have to put up with this. I don't have to talk about this.
Moody Booty Podcast.
Welcome back to Moody Booty Podcast. I am your host, Alicia Nashay, but you already knew that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so jumping right into it, if I have anybody new, and this is the first video that you stumbled across in Moody Booty, this is not the typical Moody Booty podcast episode. Right now, you have stumbled across the second dimension of Moody Booty. The second dimension, briefly, is a place where I've supplied myself the second dimension as a space to talk about right now topics that I wouldn't necessarily want to air right now for a plethora of reasons. But so yeah, you just kind of stumbled here today. So yeah, I just wanted to give some context of what the second dimension is and what it would mean and things like that. So the second thing to second dimension is these will be airing way after they're filmed. I briefly, like when I first started second dimension, I talked about it being like posted a year later. So it could be longer if I'm able to like hold on to them that long. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. I hope you enjoyed this episode. For those who have been here before, you know. So yeah, I don't usually heavily script any of these videos with like a sheet or anything like that. I have tried doing like little jotted notes in the past. But yeah, today I'm kind of just going to go with it. I remember in one of the last episodes that I did recently, I did like an update episode. So I was thinking to kind of do something similar for this episode. Yeah. So lately has been like really good. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes I'll feel like it's just like this, but I want to acknowledge that when it's like this, like up, I feel so good, and I'm just so grateful for those moments, because like, right now, first of all, I feel like no matter what walk of life you're on, you're always still trying to maintenance your mental health, even when it's at its best. And so, right now, I was going to say right now, the journey that I'm on, but truly mental health is a practice. It's not always going to be one way. So I just want to, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I'm really focused on it right now, heavily focused on it. Like, I just want to be well, feel well, look well, perform well. And, yeah, so I just want to kind of like acknowledge how I was feeling. So, really trying to take care of myself, trying to read more books, trying to do a lot more meditation, stretching, and really trying to, how do I say this? Not so much cling on to my friends and family, because I still want to be independent, right? But it's like, I want to love on everybody a lot more right now, which I'm super proud of myself, because if this hasn't been talked about already, I can get very much in my head and I can do a pushback, so I'm really just trying to just love on my people and also be receptive to the love given back to me. So, anyways, I just recently had a friend come visit me. It was really random. She already told me, kind of put the bug in my ear that she would be coming out here. And then we had to put a pin in it because, life is crazy. And then randomly she kind of calls me and she's like, hey girl, like, would this weekend work for you? And I'm like, I'll make it work. Like, book the ticket, like, come out here, And she's like, okay, I'm going to do it. So she does it. And this took place last week. Like, literally, I think she booked her ticket like 2 or 3 days before her flight. So it was very quick. And, anyways, so she gets out here, we pick her up from the airport, my other friend and I, and that was a whole thing in itself. Like, I really genuinely felt like I was being tested. I do wish I vlogged it for my YouTube channel, because it was just, like, pillar after pillar just like kept like, oh, it was just like, what is going on? We ended up, so, and then I had like all day damn near to prepare for picking her up at the airport. We get there on time, literally on time. Everything was going smooth. They were doing construction that day, and it threw everything off. And when I say construction, I mean literally right around the airport, like right there. There's like a gas station, like literally, like say the airport's here, the gas station's like right here. Like it's very close. And sorry, that was a terrible diagram of what was going on. But they were so close to each other. It's damn near like the airport's gas station. Like there's nothing else around it. It's just that. Anyways, there was construction like right by the gas station, and my friend and I had pulled over. Okay, we pulled over to. Sorry. See, that's what I get for doing too much. We pulled over because we had time to kill. I wanted to gas up. I believe the check engine. Where's a piece of wood? Because that was crazy. Check. I don't know what else I was trying to say just then, but like, don't worry about it. There was nothing, yeah, and nothing in that way turned on. The gas light turned on. So I wanted to gas up. We got some waters and we were just chilling. We were waiting for her to get off the plane, grab her bags. Like we were good, right? Bruh. So then when she's like, okay, like I'm ready. Oh shit. Okay. I'll have to get there in a second. I'm gonna get there in a second. I'm gonna try to remember exactly what I was just about to say. So anyways, me and my one friend were pulling out of the gas station. We have to basically follow like the cones and the arrows because there was like guided workers telling us where and how to go because there was construction going on. And so that was when everything fucked up. The GPS was not GPSing. The construction was annoying. The whole situation, like, and then I feel under pressure when I'm doing things for other people. Not to say I was doing anything for her, but like I told you I was going to be there at a certain time, and now I'm getting pushed back because of other stuff, and now you're waiting on me. Like I feel so freaking bad, so fucking annoying. And anyways, I'm following the GPS. My one friend's trying to help me, like, oh no, I think that's our thing. I was like, yeah, well, I'm just gonna follow the GPS. That was my first mistake, and that was the main mistake. That was like the only mistake. Like I should have just listened to her. And anyways, took me all around the map. Was telling me I can go rights on ways that I literally could not go. Like it was like, for instance, I'm driving for a bit. I'm like, I literally went from 2 minutes from the actual airport pickup to like 8 minutes out based off of following the GPS. Like it was annoying. And anyways, like there was this one direction where it was like, okay, get on the street and then turn left. So I turned left. The next direction is to turn right. But when they had me turn left, they literally had me go onto a cornfield. For a bit there was like a cement road, like very tiny, damn near almost like a driveway. Like it was that small. And anyways, it's like, okay, now go right. But you couldn't, because if you went right, you would then be all in dirt. You would be completely off of whatever little patch of cement there was. And then surrounding it was a cornfield. I was like, yo, like, what is happening? It was a whole thing. Luckily, we got to her. Now, this is what I wanted to say a couple minutes ago. So I asked my friend ahead of time if she would want to pick our friend up with me. And and so she was like, hell yeah, girl. Like, she's always down for the vibes, right? Love her to pieces. So I'm with her all day. I'm with her from like 10 till whenever we had to pick the girl up from the airport. Not the girl, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm with her all day, and all day long I was stringing her along with this lie. It was really a joke. I really wish like I said, going back to the beginning, I really do wish that I vlogged it and had it for my other channel, because it was, for one, a really, really nice day, but it was just so funny. And anyways, so all day long I'm messing with this girl, and I basically act as though the friend that was flying in was somebody completely different. I was acting like me and one of my mom's friends were surprising my mom. So I was just like, yeah, girl, like, would you help me? Like, I have to go to the airport to pick up my mom's friend. Like, it was a whole juicy ass lie. And she's like, oh my God, like, you and your mom's friend are so adorable. Like, you guys are so sweet and nice. And I'm over here like, I know. And she's like, oh my God. And so she's like texting people about it. She's telling her girlfriend around it about it. She's telling our other mutual friend about it. And I'm just like, you fucking bitch. Like, you fell for it. We fucking got him. And anyways, so that was that. And so all day from 10 in the morning, right? Till like 4-ish. And she's asking me little questions about my mom's friend. You guys, I came up with a whole fake name, looks, the state this fake person lived in. It was like a whole thing. And I was trying to think quick on my feet too. But anyways, so I even went as far, like when I had a second, like when she was away from, when my friend that was going with me, like when she was away from me, I think she was at like the gas station or something. I had like deleted my friend's picture and changed her contact name because I knew she was going to start calling me. And so I changed it to Aunt Linda. And I deleted the picture completely. And it was a whole thing. It was so good. And then like the surprise of it all was even better. She was like when my friend was coming out and like we found each other and she was gonna put her bags in the car, I pressed the button to have the trunk open and and then my one friend like looks back because she's looking for my Aunt Linda. That's the name that I think I told you guys. That's the name that I gave this fake person. And so she's like trying to like kind of like look like she even asked me like what this woman would look like. And so I told her. So she's like looking around and like when the trunk opens, you can see my friend in the back putting her stuff away. And then my one friend looks over at me and she's like, why does that look like? And it was a whole thing. It was great. It was really, really great. I do wish that I captured that because she was so fucking hype. And anyways, that just kind of bleeds into that next week for us, or that what that week looked like. It was just, it was so nice. For starters, I took a whole week off from work. It was half of one week, the weekend, and then half of the next week. So it was just so freaking great. Like in every way, it's almost like sometimes I feel like you don't realize how much you miss certain connections until you have that. Like I missed her so much. Then I missed that feeling that we all have when we're in our group together. Like just all of us being together and doing things and laughing. And we even all had a sleepover at one point. And it was just, like you literally cannot ask for more, you know. And it was really, really great. We had plans to do a couple of different things. I think we did we went to brunch one day. In the same day we did like another like little coffee pub. We found a thrift store, and I actually got a book that I may talk about later. I just started it yesterday. I'm in chapter 5 now, but I got a couple of books. I got a mug, and I think I got something for one of my friends. Did I get anything else? Excuse me. I don't know. I don't think so. So that was that, and it was just like I don't know. I was so happy that she came, and it was so crazy because like it felt long, but as soon as she had to go, it was just really, really sad, honestly. That's one thing about when she comes out to visit. It just like puts me in like I'm gonna miss you so much. Like I'm already getting like a little teary-eyed. I don't know. It's because she's such a great friend, and I think when she's not out here, I don't really have like the option to completely stick like glue to somebody. Like where you're shopping together and you guys both want to go on walks and you guys both want to stay up, and like for instance when she's out here, let's just say this, she's not in like a hotel or an Airbnb, she's right in my face, we're right in each other's face until we close our eyes and we sleep separately. But like, so to have that for weeks or sometimes months at a time, and then when they leave, it's just like I just feel like this sense of like a homesickness, like something doesn't feel right, you know. So like to have somebody with you when you go get gas or when you go get coffee, or like I said, when you go on walks, when you guys need to both mutually go to Walmart to get things, or any little thing. Is like they're the first person that you see when you're making breakfast. So when she does leave, it is a very bittersweet feeling. I say bittersweet because, it's still very nice to have space in between your loved ones, obviously. But that one just hurts a little extra much when I have to leave, or when she has to leave, because I'm just like, I'm going to miss you. But she's supposed to be coming out here for, we've made that a thing for a couple years now. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And I'm happy that she came out here for the bit of time that she did. And yeah, those are the vibes. Another thing I kind of wanted to talk with you guys about, let me know how you feel about this. I'm gonna have to be very easy with my mouth, my words, because what I'm about to say isn't too I don't know how to say this. Like, okay, so I've been trying my best to meet people. I'll start there. I'm trying, like I said, to be careful, because you know what it is like I want to talk about my experience with meeting certain personalities, and like what I'm gaining from it, what I'm picking up on, and just like I said, my overall experience. So when I'm trying to be careful with my words, I mean, like, this isn't, to throw shots or anything like that, but more of like an observation, because I feel like I've lived a very particular lifestyle for a long time, so I'm still trying to kind of like get on my feet with it all. And so certain things are kind of like a little scary, intimidating, and then other things, like, maybe I'm coming on a bit too strong. So all in all, I just want to give you like a cluster of like experiences that I've had while meeting people. So one thing I want to say off tops, and this is something that I try to tell anybody, no matter like how you're walking into my life, friend or more. I really try to paint the picture that, like, I am a very particular gal. I want space, but I also want connection. And it's so funny because so many people who know me will consider, oh, Alasia, like, wants things when she wants things, and then when she doesn't, she just doesn't. And it's so funny because, I'm not gonna lie, no sugarcoat, second dimension, me and you here together, I think that they're right. Like, I'm gonna say, I just simply think that they're right. On the sidelines, of course, I have my fillers and my reasons of, like, and I also have like the wishing of, like, I really hope they didn't take it like that, though. Like, I don't like the way it sounds, because that's not how I'm meaning it to be. So, and that's just, we gotta stop there. I get, like, like, on the other side, okay, you might not mean for it to be like that, but that's how it is. But I guess what I mean is, like, even if I come off, or if that is true, the whole like, oh, I want things when I want them, and then I don't when I don't. I don't mean it in like a malicious way or an angry way, bitter or anything like that. And so to say what I mean, like what I really mean, is like, it's hard when it comes to socializing with people, because I feel like with mental health, considering like my anxiety, my depression, me being a Sagittarius is another chunk of it too. Like, we don't really like to constantly be in the thick of something anyways. The times where we do, it is bliss. But then there's so much of that other, like, another part of it where it's like, I just don't want to. So it's so many things to be considered. But yeah, like, going back to my experiences with meeting people, I have to like let them know, like, hey bro, like, you're getting the best of me right now, because I am actively in your face. I'm being bubbly. I want to talk. I can keep up and be consistent. So this may be confusing what I'm about to say, but expect this to also do a complete 180. And I don't always say it like that, but I am very detailed in how it could be, because I know myself, and I also listen to those around me, and I hear the same things, like how I could be, how I can come off, how it makes people feel. So when it comes to like meeting people, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes like I'm just like turned off from the whole idea, not even in a love relationship sort of way, all of it. Friendships too. I'm like, it just kind of turns me off, because I'm like, I can understand that not everybody will get it. Like, I get that, so, but it doesn't make it any easier for me to want to socialize, because I feel bad a lot of the times. Like I said, not I don't want to make this about my anxiety like the whole time, but me speaking about myself and being real, I will feel guilty or feel bad, feel like I have to do things. A lot of times feel like I don't want to do things, but I have to, or I don't want it to be awkward, or I feel forced. And it gives me anxiety, because I'm like, I don't really want to talk right now, or I don't want to answer the phone right now, or I don't want to hang out anymore, or I won't want to hang out with you or talk to you or see you for the next 3 months. Like, and I only come off that rah about it when I feel pushed against a wall. Like if you're questioning things, or if you're mad at me, or just so many things like that. Like I just like friendships where it's just like the ocean. Like it's just flowing. If I come back, if we meet up again, we meet up again. And when we don't, like, it's cool, girl. Like I'm gonna like your shit on Instagram. Like, and it's civil. It's just cool. No pressure, no expectations. I could vibe with that. It's when it's flipped, when people have like an entitlement, or they feel as though maybe you guys are closer than how you guys perceive everybody else around you. And it's like, no, bro. No. Like, and I will say this too. That doesn't even matter. Whatever. Um, that's just so, not to stay on track. That's like how I feel a lot of times. I feel like when I meet somebody, I'm like, okay, this is going good, but now I have to explain myself, just so they know in like 60 days or 2 weeks or 3 days, I may be drastically different. And I'm not saying that the change is permanent. The consistency of the two is a permanent thing. I would love to work on that in the future, but the consistency of how I can dibble dabble between both personalities is pretty like straightforward across the board. But the part where I'm maybe a little bit more closed off for a period of time is never permanent. I feel like I'm good at always coming back around. And so people who are new don't always understand that. And I don't like beef, I also don't like constantly explaining myself or anything like that. And so I met a couple of individuals where it was almost like a problem. Sorry, my back is starting to hurt. It was almost like a problem. And, considering the path of life that I'm on right now, the changes that are going on in my life, the constant taking off one hat to put on the hat that I'm meant to be wearing right now. If you know, you know, and if you don't, go back into another episode. But I really was not pushing to have anything locked in. I just want to practice being able to have conversations with people and have a good time and show face and, just have really grow an experience. Like, I feel like for me, I kind of like was placed in solitude by choice a lot of my life. And so now having like a new start, I want to be able to really immerse in that and just enjoy myself, So when people are like quick to question or assume, it is a turnoff to me. Like that's the first thing that I picked up on. Like I don't like that at all. And I was catching myself feeling like, I was like, okay, for instance, if I'm feeling the conversation, friend or more, right? I'm gonna like be active, And not to say that when it changes, I'm not necessarily feeling the conversation. It's just life goes on. If you have 17 people in your life, let's just throw out a number out there. 17 people in your life that you constantly check in with between social media, in person, on the phone, at work. Imagine keeping everybody's full imagine keeping everybody's cup full at like a 95% of fullness every day, 24 hours a day. It's not possible and it's not logical. I wouldn't even say it's possible or logical to keep 17 people's cups full 95% of the time, even by a week's worth. Not by a day, not a day, but a week. It's not possible. Sometimes I'm ducking out. Sometimes I literally can only handle myself and my two animals. Like, that's just what it is. To have to explain that constantly is annoying, you know? And but I got that feeling like at a time talking with somebody just recently. I was just like, it wasn't even anything that they did. It was just my mind fluttering to a place of like, I don't have the mental capacity to carry this conversation right now. Not putting a time on it, not today, not within the next hour, in general. Like, I just don't have the mental capacity right now. This is taking a lot out of me for whatever reason it is. It has nothing to do with them specifically, but in this moment, I don't really want to water this. And you know, like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks into that, it was something else. They're messaging me about something else. And I'm like, I don't need to feel guilty about this. There is no ties or anything here. Again, I want to be able to have a friendship where we could just flow, come back together, pick up like nothing ever happened. I can also say I understand relationships aren't one-sided. You may need two different things from each other or two different things out of a friendship. There still don't need to be no beef. Y'all gotta recategorize where the other person belongs in your regimen of relationships and friendships. Like, that's all it is, you know? Then another thing I picked up on is it's so great when certain people are just like you. Like, when it comes to interests, personalities, wants, needs, it's really, really, really cool, especially because I feel like when you get that chance to socialize, and then they're outside of your norm or your environment, it's so refreshing. Like, I can't say it enough. It's cool. And you know what I also can't say enough is how much I'm just enjoying being free, you know, because I think as quiet as it's been kept, that's what I've been wanting for a really long time. Like, just to feel free, move how I want, do what I want. And I don't know. I don't know. So that is another thing, like I said, that I've been enjoying, is just being able to be in conversation with people and meeting new people and planning to do things. And everybody's also been so sweet. Like, even, I'm going to say this, even people where we wanted two different things, or maybe they wanted more out of me than I was able to provide, even those people are very sweet, beautiful individuals. Literally, these are just observations, right? So one other thing on the flip side, like how I was just talking about with people being just like me, I'm also seeing like one thing that will kind of like lower my battery level, my social battery, is when I'm putting in more than the next person. Again, going back to the first thing I talked about, if they're not giving me what I need, just like how it was vice versa, there's no beef. It's just, don't overfeed that situation. Like, go somewhere else, you know? Again, don't get attached, because that wasn't the point anyways. And there'll be certain friends or potential friend situations, not to say people can't come back to each other, you know, doors always open. But there will be certain energies that will come around, and it's like so one-sided, you know? And I have to learn to put a pin in those sorts of energies. And it sucks and it's hard, because like when you're a good person or you want to do good things or you are more bubbly or helpful or kind, be high vibration, it's hard to not want to like spread that around to other people naturally, because you want to hear people out and you want to make them feel like the prettiest person and the most amazing and that they got this and that they're strong. But when they have a different energy than you do, it's like a lot of people gravitate towards the good stuff. This is not at all being cocky. I even hate that I gave a disclaimer. But realistically, right? Like if you see somebody and they're just glowing and then they just kind of like are positive, you are naturally going to want the feeling that they give you because they make you feel better. So I've had to like really kind of like sift out those sorts of energies or almost like reroute the conversation when it's constant negativity. And for instance, let me just kind of give a scenario. There's individuals out there where like every single time you link up with them or you're talking with them or you're texting them, they just kind of have like even if it's not like intentional, they have this thing about them where it's just like throw up negativity. Like everything about their whole situation, even down to their tone, it's just like a negative thing or a gloating. So and then it's still negative because it's like all we talk about is them. And I'm just like, I'm not getting anything out of this. I don't get paid for this conversation. Like this is sucking me dry. Like and so because I also still see potential, right? I'm still working on sifting them out. But if I see a potential in a person, I'm trying to not like dead them completely. Because I have two options here, right? I can say, hey, let me just come to them and tell them how what they do makes me feel. And if they notice steps back, this is why. Or right now, this is the one that I've been using lately, is just trying to redirect the conversation, right? So, for instance, if since I met you, it's always something about you, something about what you're going through, how you got pissed off or bothered or upset in like a negative way. And every single time I'm really good for being like, oh girl, like, you got this. Or, hey, like, tell me about that. Do you want to talk about it? And I'm constantly doing that sort of pouring. Lately I've just been like, say if like the example, like say, oh my God, so yeah, like how I told you last night, and we spent an hour last night talking about that thing that they're about to go into again the very next day. They're like, yeah, so like last night, like how I told you this would happen, like yeah, it totally did happen, and I knew I was right, and like I'm not even surprised because like this always happens to me, and it's always something like that. I I just changed the subject. Like, I'm just changing the subject because I have nothing to say to that. And again, this is 8 o'clock my time, or 8 o'clock, not my time. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still dealing with my own situation. I don't have time to put what you got going on my back, especially since last night I gave you 3 hours of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like that will just suck me dry. So that's a good tip. If somebody is just like, oh yeah, so such and such happened to me and I'm still kind of working out that, like, I'm just like so fed up, like I'm having like the worst day. And that is them 24/7, right? Not the person who they're just really having a bad day, but the person where they're always going through something. Just change the subject. Like, oh my God, girl, like I just got off of lunch, like, or I just got to lunch, like, what should I get? I'm thinking Carl's Jr. or Taco Bell. And leave it at that, because I don't want to keep hearing it. It's not that I'll never hear it. It's not that I will stop checking up on you. It's just when it's an everyday thing and that's literally the dialogue of our conversation, this is doing nothing for me, like at all. And again, going back to why am I forcing it anyways? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to put up with this. I don't have to talk about this. Like, to have that conversation with yourself, it's not even shade to them, right? It's having that conversation with yourself to being like, I don't really have to force this conversation, or I don't really have to show up right now because we have no obligations. Don't overly work yourself or overly stress yourself out. Like, if that's the type of person that they're going to be that regardless. And the type of person that you are, you want to feed, you want to have a good time, you want to have everybody be at a similar vibration. And this energy is literally not your job, And so because I know that I have like empath traits, I'm just learning to not get sucked in by that type of stuff because there's just no need. And then my anxiety will creep in, right? And then my pride will creep in when people are trying to tell me about myself and being like, oh, like, girl, why are you acting different? And it's like, because you are just like not the energy I need right now. And then I will start acting out of character because you're questioning me. And because of my anxiety, I don't want to be around you because you make me feel like this. And it's like a whole loop. And so to prevent all of that, I just like, this ain't my job. Like, this ain't me. You know what I'm saying? That's you. And that's fine. And I love you for that. But like us together just cannot coexist, and that's totally fine. It is what it is, babe. But yeah, other than that, I don't know, like those are kind of like the updates when it comes to like socializing right now. I really have been like, there was even people that I meshed well with, very well, and I still had to be honest with myself and kind of like reground myself and be like, hey, like just treat this like a really good conversation. Don't make it mean anything more than that, because that's realistically out of the goals that you have for yourself. Getting attached to anybody, friend or more, just is not anything that you want right now. Like, genuinely, like even within my own set of friends, like my locked in day one friends, I still am trying to make it a habit of, again, not clinging to anybody, but loving on them, being genuine and entertaining it when it suits fit, but not using this hard time in my life as an excuse or outlet to leech off of anybody's energy, to give myself peace or protection. Like, I want that for myself. Okay, you guys, really quick, I'm not sure if I'm going to, I know I just closed out. This is at least around the time that I'm filming this. I just closed out with you guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this like where it should be in part of the video or just kind of add it to the end. But going back to what I was saying about like meeting people and if they have like a certain energy where like all they talk about is negativity, I gave my spiel on that, right? But another part that I want to say that really like is like when they don't have it in you, if they don't have it in them, pay attention to this detail. Don't force anything. If things aren't feeling mutual in one way or another, take that as a red flag and either run or just pocket it. Don't ignore it at all. And so I say that to say I have met individuals where like they just kind of don't feel the need to ask you about you, or like I said, like you're just leading the conversation, or you have to be the upbeat one, or just be like, you know what I'm saying, like being the fucking table. And being the table isn't the problem, but like where it's the problem is like you look back a year later and you're like, damn, why are we like this? Like, I didn't want this setup. But you have to pay attention to the foundation and how you start things. That's why I'm saying take it as a red flag and pocket it if that is what you're not into. Granted, some people are completely okay with never talking about themselves and all they want to do is talk about other people. If that's the setup for you, then that's perfect. But for me, I want to feel fed. I also want to feel involved. I want to feel like I'm learning something from you, but I also want to feel like you care to know me, how I feel, my interests, goals, stuff like that. So if it goes to, hey, yeah, so I'm actually about to be going to the movies. Have you heard of it? No, yeah, I hate the movies. And that's the response, not, yeah, girl, like, I hate the movies, but, like, what are you about to be watching, though? Oh, cool, like, you know, and so I get bored with it. I get bored with it, and I'm learning to, like, not force anything either, like, okay, and I don't think too much of it, like, I don't have an attitude, like, oh my god, like, you're such a fucking or anything like that, but it's just more of like I'm bored and I need more than this, so like hopefully it works out for you though. And then I did, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to clarify that because I completely forgot to speak on that when I was freshly talking about it when it mattered. Yeah, anyways, I wanted to open this with you guys this morning. After this I'll probably go. I just checked the time. This is a good little conversation and my back is killing me. I don't even know why because I'm just sitting here, but so, let's see. When I was telling you guys that I went to the thrift store this past weekend, I found two books, and this was one of them. It's called A Lesson Before Dying, And then I picked up another one. It's somewhere around my room, and it's called it's like a self-help book for difficult conversations. I forget the title of it though. And I thought picking this book up, I thought with picking this book up it would be a self-help book too. But honestly, the more I read it, I'm in chapter 5. I think that there's really, so the other book, for difficult discussions, it was like an aid, like bullet pointed prompts, exercises, like, it's very clear of what it does. This one isn't like that. It's more of like telling a story, but I do feel like there's going to be self-help resources within the story. Like you almost have to like just see between the lines a bit. And I'm in chapter 5, like I said, so I'm kind of, I don't like long commitments to things. So like with books, I was genuinely excited when I did start cashing out on books because I do want that for myself. But when I sit down and I read a book, it's like I have to take like 20 minutes to like calm my ADHD brain down and really sit through a book. Because I want it to be like done like instantly. And it's like, girl, you got like 25 more chapters, like calm down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so there's that. And I'm liking this one so far. So far, if y'all know, and if I talked with you guys about this, you guys should know, especially if you're watching it all the way through. But with books and TV shows, movies, I do not like spoilers. I don't like summaries. I don't like trailers. I will just watch it if it's a TV show, movie, and I will just buy it if it is a book, something to read. I don't like to know what it's about, and that is a lot of times my downfall. I do wish that I would sometimes just read what I'm about to buy. Maybe it would have stopped a purchase, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe I would find myself buying more books that were actually truly good fits. So not to say this is a bad fit, it's just I don't know what it's about yet. I don't know what's gonna happen. And sometimes in the beginning of, entertainment situations, it could take a second for stuff to kind of start getting the ball rolling. On the side of the book, it says book Oprah's Club. So I'm assuming Oprah has maybe like a list of books. When I saw that, I was also sold because I do enjoy like her as a person and just like her smarts and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, if she approves this, like maybe I could give it a try. And again, so I'm in the fifth episode. Okay, I'm in the 5th chapter. So far it's about so there's this boy who wrong place, wrong time, and he's walking at night. And he gets stopped by a car of boys. I think, and when I say car, boys take it lightly because I think it was like 2 or 3 more boys in the car. And so they kind of stop him. They're asking him like, hey, like, where you going? What you about to be doing? The boy says that he's just trying to get to this place. They offer him a ride. He jumps in the car. He takes the ride. The guys that were originally in the car with now the additional boy, I'm going to do one thing. The guy that I said that got picked up, let's just call him Jimmy. So, and then I'm going to call the rest of the guys or the boys. So Jimmy gets into the car. Then the other guys who now have Jimmy in the car, they drive to this convenience store. And basically they're planning on doing a robbery, right? So they get into the convenience store with Jimmy. And Jimmy's just kind of standing there. And they are trying to buy wine or beer or something like that. The cashier realizes like y'all already had too much to drink. And then he also realized they're also not of age, I think, or something like that. So he was just like, so the cashier was just like, well, it's such and such amount of money. They put the money on the table. The cashier's like, this ain't enough money. And they're like, come on, bro. Like, basically like make it work. Like, come on. Like, we're good for it. That type of thing. That was when the robbery happened. Not to drag it out anymore. Basically, everybody but Jimmy that was in the convenience store ended up dying. But Jimmy's scared. He's thinking in his head like, wow, like I'm about to basically be in some real fucked up shit. All these people are dead. Like, and then also you could tell within the book that this may take place in like some sort of like southern atmosphere, mixed with the fact that like his English also, like everybody's English is a little chopped up, but his English specifically is really broken. And anyway, so there's just like the way he's talking in the book, and also at this point, I feel like I'm dragging it, but if you're here, you care, so whatever. But at this point in the book, Jimmy's experience, like what's going on, like at the convenience store when he got pulled over, it's being told by a third person because, so yeah, I'll just get to there. So everybody ends up dying, like I said, and then Jimmy's tripping. He's freaking out. He's trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? Should I leave? Should I stay? Should I call the cops? They're gonna think that I did it. Like, it's a whole thing. The reason why he was mainly tripping too is because the cashier was a white guy. This is also from like way back in the day. Not to say too much has changed, you know what I'm saying? But he was really, really scared because he's like, this white man just died. What's gonna happen to me? They're gonna think that I did it. So, he's like trying to think on his feet. He takes a shot because they're at a convenience store. They wanted alcohol, so he had alcohol right next to him. He takes a shot, and then he like basically is trying to think quick on his feet. He's like, I'm gonna just run away. So he gets into the safe. He like snatches a hell of money out the safe, and he stuffs it in his pocket. And right when he's about to leave, two white guys come in. I'm only mentioning color because that's what they mentioned. And then that kind of like goes into the part where there is a why am I blanking right now? Basically, you know, he goes to jail, he gets arrested, there's like a courtroom. What am I thinking of? Like trial. There's a trial right now trying to figure out what's about to happen with him. A lot of people think that he's about to get life. You know, then his side of the family is trying to be hopeful. They're hoping that the lawyer can get him out of it. All this is happening in, like I said, this is from 1 to 5. All this has already transpired. And not to make it any longer, because I don't really want to draw every point, but basically his lawyer, the people that were on his side, was really trying to save him. They were kind of painting the picture like, hey, like this guy, because everybody else that was in the convenience store, because everybody else was dead, he looked really, really guilty. But what his lawyer was trying to prove, he's like, look at him, like he doesn't have the smarts to do something like that. I don't know if later in the book they'll diagnose him with anything, but let me try to, I don't even know if I could try to find a page, because I don't want to talk out my ass and be rude, because this wasn't my words. I feel bad. But here, let me try to find the page. Okay, so this is what the lawyer that is on Jimmy's side, this is what he's saying. He says, gentlemen of the jury, look at this. This boy. I almost said man, but I can't say man. Oh, sure, he has reached the age of 21 where we realize civil men considered the male species have reached manhood. But what would you call this? This is a man? I will not call him a man. I would call this boy, I would call it a boy and a fool. A fool is not aware of right or wrong. So basically, he's trying to declare him as not mentally fit. Like, he wasn't capable of these murders. He doesn't even know his name. He didn't know where he was from. He doesn't know how to write, read, spell. Like, he was just kind of trying to paint that picture. And again, he's gone. He's supposed to be like getting the guy out of it, but his support system that is also noted in the book, like his mom, his godmom, they're taking it personal because, you know, the lawyer is calling him a fool. He also went out of his way to call Jimmy a hog. He was like, because basically within the trial, there are the people who are completely against the situation. They want him to get the electric chair, like they want him to die. And so he was just like, he's not even he's not no man, he's not no boy, he's a boy and he's a fool. Like, he followed the situation, he just stayed there. He didn't even have the guts or just like the brain, the willpower to run away. Like, he just stood there and yada yada yada. So he was like, you might as well electrocute, he was like, you might as well put a hog in the chair. And so that kind of goes into where I'm at right now. The godmom took that piece personal. She's like, he called my boy a hog. You know, like I, at least if he's got to die, like let him die, but I want him to at least die a man. And I think she was more of like going hard for him in that way, because she knows mentally that she just wanted him to be, I guess, better equipped, before just dying like he's just some fool, you know? And so, there's the guy that I told you. So I told you that everything about Jimmy in the trial is being told by a third person, which is, I think, the main, or the guy talking throughout the book. I think his name is Robert or something like that. And he's a teacher. And so the godmom to Jimmy was like, look, like, if they're going to kill him off, like, I can't change that, obviously, but if it gets approved, can you please teach him to be a man or something like that? So then you kind of get like a little bit of details from like Robert's situation, how he's thinking about everything, his background. You even get like a little taste of like his relationship that he's in. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. The title is intriguing though. A Lesson Before Dying. And going back off of like what I was saying about Robert, him teaching, Jimmy some lessons before dying. So I would definitely keep you guys updated. Hopefully I can see myself finishing this book. I talked your ear off so hard, so there's that one. Now, I'm going to say one more thing about another book, and then I'm going to let you guys go. So, hella months ago, when I was on my binge of buying hella books, I went on Etsy. I think I may have told you guys about this in a past video, but there's Etsy shops, multiple different shops with sellers who do a blind date and book situation. And basically you go on their Etsy website and you pick either an author or you pick a genre, or sometimes both, depending on how they do it. And so for this one, I picked a romance genre, specifically LGBTQ. And I kind of like wrote her like a little message of what I would like if she was able to do it, things like that. And so the seller sends you back a book, and it's completely like, you don't know what it is. You literally make your purchase going off of like, hey, I would like a book written by Ernest Gaines. Or you would say, hey, I would like a sci-fi book. And they pick the book for you. They wrap it up all cute. They send it on their way. A lot of them, like for this book that I ordered, she packed a couple of teas with my book and like a little, like a book magnet, like, what is it? Why am I blanking right now? A bookmark. So sorry. But it's like a magnet one. It has puppies on it. And yeah, so she sent it. I got that months ago. Okay. It had literally been sitting on my shelf for months. And I just opened it this morning. She wrote me like a nice little letter letting me know. She's like, unfortunately, I don't have any romance LGBTQ books at the moment. She's like, if I did, I would send you, the best that I had. She's like, this book, specifically this one right here, she's like, this one is my last romance book. I definitely have to restock. And so anyways, I opened it, and it is by Nicholas Sparks, and it's called At First Sight. This is the back of the book. Ooh. And this is the front of the book. So I haven't given it a try just yet. I am interested to know how it goes. And yeah, that is pretty much that. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in doing, I say check it out, because it was just cool. It was cool to try out. There's a whole bunch of different sellers. What they do is they put it in a mailer, like your package in a mailer, but they wrap the book very pretty. And there's, like I said, so many different shops. They do, like, some of them have themes, so they all look similar, like all their different packages. Like, some of them will wrap the book in like pretty ass like vintage newspaper and just kind of like trick it out a bit. It's just, I don't know, it's cool, and I think it's something to look forward to. It's cool to get a new perspective on things, and when somebody else picks out a book for you to kind of like go out of your norm, I felt like that was really, really cool. So yeah, if that's something that you'd be interested in, definitely check it out. And I think I'm going to close out here because I've been talking your ear off and I need water and to stretch out my back. So there's that. I'm going to close out here, but I will see you guys in my next Moody Booty podcast episode. Bye, guys.